Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on Canada's Alberta. You are going to learn all about how to design a dreamy winter itinerary for your clients. I'm Lisa Simonson, Associate Editor of Recommend Magazine and moderator of this webinar, which has been made possible by Recommend and Travel Alberta, so thank you. Now you know me, just in the chat, please let us know where you're viewing us from. We love to know where in the country people are joining us for these webinars. So during the webinar, you will discover winter itineraries that combine outdoor activities for those looking to have adventures in the crisp, fresh mountain air, combined with warm and cozy stays, perfect for those who want to rest, relax, and unwind. Learn why visitors rave about the incredible foodie experiences too on hand, and why winter in Canada's Alberta is a must-add to any bucket list. And also, one lucky attendee today will win a print from a local Indigenous artist, Jason Carter, valued at $75. So please stay on till the end and we will announce the winner. So before we begin, let's take care of a couple of housekeeping items. So during the presentation, please feel free to enter your questions in the chat box, and time permitting, we will ask at the end. Don't worry if you miss something. The webinar is being recorded and you will receive a link via email to access at your leisure. So now we are delighted to introduce Ashley Leacono. She is the U.S. representative, for Travel Alberta, and she's played a pivotal role in showcasing the wonders of Alberta to American travelers, enriching their experiences and connecting them with this captivating Canadian province. She also has an extensive background working with tourism boards, airlines, and hotel brands across North America and beyond. And in addition to that, she's a huge outdoor activity enthusiast. And she tells us that winter is her favorite season. So definitely an expert here. So I'm going to turn it over to Ashley, who is going to tell you all about Canada's Alberta. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Lisa. Hi, everyone. As mentioned, I'm Ashley Loicono. I'm the U.S. representative for Travel Alberta, and I'm so excited to showcase Alberta in my favorite time of year, which is winter. So let me pull up my screen so I can show you all the dreamy things there are to do in Alberta during the winter time. So first off, Alberta has a very rich and diverse history with the First Nations people, and we like to acknowledge that the Indigenous cultures were here first, and we'll talk about how to honor them and learn about their history later in the presentation. So to get started, Alberta is due north of Montana and next to British Columbia. Alberta is a year-round destination for both outdoor enthusiasts who can find, a range of activities from gentle excursions to heart-pounding adventures. Alberta is also the sunniest province in Canada, with over 320 days annually of bluebird skies to enjoy your outdoor adventures. Alberta is serviced by 2 international airports in Calgary and Edmonton, and has great air access from all major carriers out of the US as well as internationally. Alberta also has the lowest sales tax in Canada and is the best place for shopping. So for guests who are doing both an Alberta and British Columbia itinerary, be sure to have them save their shopping trip for Alberta and save on tax. So today we're going to uncover the warmth of winter in Canada's Alberta. I know for most people, when I mention winter in Canada, this is the immediate thought. My clients will freeze and it's too cold to do anything, but that is simply not the case. First, let's start with warming up from inside out. Alberta is home to locally grown barley, hops, and wheat, and these ingredients have been a game changer for craft beer and spirit makers in Alberta, as when these are combined with other local ingredients like juniper and fresh glacier water, our local breweries and distillers have been creating award-winning products on a global stage. Alberta has also been supporting the explosive growth of local breweries and distilleries across the province, and these vendors are focused on not only the product they sell, but how the product is made. Whether your guests are in the city or in smaller towns in the Rockies, they need to enjoy the winning sweet honey liquor, prickly pear vodka, or parlor gin, which is flavored with locally grown juniper. There are fantastic fun and educational brewery and distillery tours available across the province, and your guests will get hands-on learning about the processes that make these award-winning beers and spirits. There are breweries and distilleries found in every corner of Alberta, as I mentioned, and they are the perfect place to rest, relax, and recount the day's adventures. So ensure your guests take the time to sit back, meet some locals, and enjoy the many tastes of flavors of beer or spirits that showcase Alberta's local ingredients. Combined with incredible beer and distillery scene is the culinary experiences on offer across the province. For the best table view, make sure your guests go up to Banff Gondola, located on Sulphur Mountain, for incredible views. Interactive learning experiences and some incredible dining with local farm-to-table menus are available at the Sky Bistro. In the wintertime, guests can also enjoy stargazing at night with outdoor fire pits or inside a heated globe. Also, a special experience called Night Rise takes place during the wintertime. This is in partnership with Indigenous communities to bring art and music to the top of a gondola, and it's truly a magical experience. For those looking for something a little more elegant, there's nothing more magical in the winter than high tea at one of the Fairmont properties. The Fairmont Tea Service takes the tradition to new heights. Your guests will linger over fluffy scones with house-made preserves, pastries, and finger sandwiches while enjoying the magnificent views of the Canadian Rockies. While warming up from the inside is definitely important, to really enjoy winter in Alberta, your guests need to get outside. So I wanted to share with you some of my favorite activities in the winter months. First and foremost is downhill skiing, but I do want to note we really need a separate webinar just to cover the breadth of skiing in Alberta. So today I'll be focusing on the non-ski activities, but you can always reach out for more information about the incredible skiing in Banff National Park at Sunshine Village, Lake Louise Ski Resort, and Mount Norquay, or at Marmot Resort in Jasper. There are some incredible Indigenous experiences to be had in Alberta, and the Jasper Tour Company is no exception. Guests can learn from Joe Uri, a member of the Métis Nation of Alberta. His storytelling really brings the mountains and the animals to life with his colorful personality, and his extensive knowledge and a sense of humor keeps people engaged from start to finish of all his tours. There are also numerous other Indigenous experiences on hand to learn about First Nations peoples. Whether your clients want to listen to drumming and fireside chats with the wonderful warrior women, or take nature walks to learn about the wildlife and nature, there are immersive Indigenous experiences throughout the province. Another magnificent winter experience is the Malign Valley Ice Walk. It's truly an incredible outing and done with informative, friendly, and knowledgeable guides. It's really the best way to experience the deepest accessible canyon in Jasper National Park, as guests will explore frozen waterfalls, ice caves, and ice formations while learning about the Malign Valley and surrounding areas. And I think this picture speaks for itself. It's just a truly gorgeous, out of this world experience. The Canadian Rockies is also one of the best places in Alberta to see wildlife. Wildlife tours with knowledgeable guides are trained to seek out all the park's most iconic creatures, including elk, deer, sheep, goats, coyotes, wolves, and moose. Guests will learn all about the ways these animals contribute to the rich diversity of the national park and how they survive the mountain winters. Another true bucket list experience is getting up high from a heli snowshoe. One of the best places for this is between Jasper and Lake Louise, where guests will land high in the mountains for an unforgettable backcountry snowshoe tour. These snowshoe tours are in pristine and stunning wilderness scenery. And after doing this, you'll fly back to Abraham Lake to go bubble hunting with a guide. And what is bubble hunting? The natural wonder of the ice bubbles can be found at Abraham Lake. I highly recommend a tour of this incredible natural phenomenon. Here, guests will see huge pockets of methane bubbles that are frozen deep within the crystal clear waters. And guests are given ice cleats or ice skates to ensure a safe viewing experience and one like never before. Dog sledding is also an incredible adventure and is on offer in Jasper, Banff, Lake Louise, and in Canmore, Kananaskis. Guests have a choice. They can relax and soak in the breathtaking scenery during the ride, or roll up their sleeves and get a lesson in mushing a dog sled team. There's nothing more surreal than departing with a team of excited dogs yelping and lunging to go. And then once the guide releases the brakes, your guests are whisked away in silence and immersed in the scenery. There are also many guided snowshoe experiences to be had as well, but a favorite I like to point out takes place at the top of Sunshine Village Ski Resort. Here, guests take the chairlift to the top of the mountain where they can navigate into incredible scenery in deep, fluffy snow before taking the chairlift back down to the base. I do want to note there's also moonlight snowshoeing around the province as well for those who want to adventure after dark. For guests who want to ski but on a flat surface, the Canmore Nordic Center, located between Banff and Calgary, is the place to do it. This facility was used in the 1988 Calgary Olympics and remains a world-class facility today. This is a great place to strap on some skis and learn how to cross-country ski with an incredible mountain backdrop. There's also nowhere else in the world more spectacular than to skate in Alberta than on Lake Louise. This photo was taken early in the season where the lake froze crystal clear. There's wild skating throughout the Rockies and lots of beautiful rinks throughout the cities to get out and enjoy some time on the skates. And Lake Louise is definitely a highlight of any winter itinerary. Located between Banff and Lake Louise is Johnston Canyon, and one of the first places I recommend to any visitors in the wintertime. Carved steeply into the limestone bedrock by thousands of years of water erosion, the dramatic Johnston Canyon is a breathtaking natural attraction. This incredibly beautiful canyon walk takes guests along elevated, gentle pathways to two stunning frozen waterfalls. Guests can do this on their own or as a guided experience. What's more, there's evening ice walks. So these evening ice walk experiences with guides allow for another perspective of this beautiful canyon after dark. For those who want to take it a little slower, taking a sleigh ride along the edge of the frozen Lake Louise will make your guests feel as though they've stepped into a fairy tale as they sit under a cozy warm blanket and glide silently through a magical winter wonderland. This is one of the most iconic winter experiences you can do to embrace the true spirit of winter. And no winter outing is complete without taking part in one of the national park's greatest traditions, visiting the hot springs for a soothing soak in the hot mineral-rich water. In Banff and Jasper, relaxing in the outdoor pools have provided a magical experience that has drawn visitors since the 1880s. Heritage buildings surrounding the pools feature interpretive exhibits that celebrate the history of the hot springs as well. Now that you've seen a sample of the activities to be had outdoors, as well as how to warm up from the inside out, I wanted to touch on accommodations. There are endless accommodation options in Alberta, from cozy cabins, hotels, and suites to the luxurious preferred Fairmont properties. The best part of the winter season is that this is technically our off-season, meaning there's more availability, better rates, but with all the same amenities found in the summer months. I wanted to highlight a few of my favorite hotels for a winter getaway. In Canmore, which is located between Banff and Calgary, is the Malcolm Hotel, which offers amazing views, rooftop pool, and is a great place to rest, relax, and unwind with the surrounding mountains. Mount Engadine Lodge, which is located in Kananaskis country, is a small lodge with a number of super cozy cabins. This mountain accommodation, combined with phenomenal dining, make this a beautiful place to rest, relax, and truly enjoy nature. Add to that snowshoeing and cross-country skiing trails that start right from the lodge. As mentioned, throughout Alberta, there's several other cabin-style stays. Whether your guests are looking for remote full-service backcountry experience like Skokie Lodge near Lake Louise, or cabins on a property where access to a main lodge and dining are more preferred, like Storm Mountain in Banff, there is a cozy cabin experience to suit any travel style. I also wanted to touch on the 3 incredible Fairmont properties that are sure to enhance any winter itinerary. On here, you'll see the Jasper Park Lodge Resort, and this is one of my favorites, and it's a charming village of cedar chalets and luxury signature cabins, all connected by picturesque paths that allow guests to explore the natural environment of this truly unique hotel property in the Canadian Rockies. There are cozy areas throughout the property to relax by the warm fire, read a book, or enjoy some local beer, spirits, or sample from their extensive wine list. They also have this super cozy outdoor pool, which has beautiful views of the surrounding mountains and lakes. The world famous Banff Springs Hotel that stands as a landmark in this picturesque alpine town of Banff is known as the Castle in the Rockies. In the winter, it really is like staying in a gingerbread house surrounded by the mountains. From cozy rooms tucked away in quiet corners of the castle to spacious suites with sweeping Alberta mountain views, Fairmont Banff Springs has the perfect guest room, suite, or Fairmont Gold accommodations for your guest Rocky Mountain getaway. And then the Fairmont Chateau Lake Louise is truly stunning in the winter. And the best part is that all adventures are right on the doorstep. This is the same lake I showed earlier in the presentation, but this time with much more snow, which happens later in the season. From the hotel's front door, guests have access to amazing hiking, casual walks along the lake shore, cross-country skiing, snowshoeing, or sleigh rides. This is truly a quintessential place to relax, rejuvenate, and explore. And of course, there is a welcoming ice bar to visit at the end of your guest day of adventure. I also wanted to share the exciting news of a brand new thermal wellness facility currently under construction at the Fairmont Chateau Lake Louise. This is a 31,000 square foot building that, when complete, will blend into the landscape of the existing building. This will feature indoor and outdoor thermal experiences, relaxation areas, fantastic food and beverage, and treatment rooms. Completion of this project is expected in spring of 2025. And that's a wrap. Thank you for your time today. I'll be open to answer any questions that come through in the chat. Let me stop sharing.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, there are some questions in the chat, and Ashley, I'm gonna go ahead and ask some of them for you.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, and that was really terrific. Just want to get on a plane and go. So somebody wants to know regarding the wildlife that you mentioned, is it safe to watch them, and will you definitely see them?
So yes, with the guides, it is safe to watch them. There's tours and the guides are very experienced in spotting and tracking the wildlife. Of course, nothing's ever guaranteed, but they are experienced in finding them and being able to track them. So the likelihood is always very high.
Okay, great. And then one of the agents wants to know if you have an agent training program at Travel Alberta.
My colleague, Ryan, who actually is on paternity leave, will be able to share more information.
Okay, so there is something that they can
Yes.
contact you about. Okay, great. Another agent is saying that they mostly sell the luxury experiences. And so you kind of touched on it, but which are the best for luxury?
For luxury travelers, we always recommend, in terms of accommodations, the Fairmont properties. And with that, there's a lot of private tours and experiences. I'm happy to share a list of those information after the webinar, but there's from like helicopter tours to doing private guided snowshoes or private guided of the canyons and the grottos and everything. I think those are definitely on the luxury side. But yeah, it caters to a luxury audience, especially in the winter time. And that whole Lake Louise area is just gorgeous and very private.
And is this all winter long, or does anybody close up at all during the winter?
No, everything I showed is all winter, all season long, all year long. Just of course adjust for the winter time. But Alberta is a very big winter destination, so a lot of the experiences and tours are open year round.
Terrific, thank you. Any fams going to Alberta in the near future?
So we are looking in 2024. I don't have exact dates, but that's something, again, I will have follow-up information once I have that information.
Okay, great. Well, that's good to know. So for agents who usually send clients to warm destinations during the winter, what tips do you have on selling this cold climate kind of travel?
I think what I like saying is it's definitely unique, it's different, you avoid the crowds, and I think it's honestly the most magical time to see this destination. The snow-capped mountains are gorgeous, the frozen lakes, and again, it's a lot more private feeling, so you really feel like you have the whole province to yourself.
Oh, and somebody else wants to know, isn't the road to Jasper closed from October until the spring?
So Icefield Parkway is not closed. There are closures throughout the winter, of course, if conditions aren't right, but you can travel between, especially if you have a rental car with snow tires. There's also shuttles that take you between it, but the only time I've experienced it closed was when they were doing some road work just to help pave it more, but you can drive between.
Okay, good. That's great to know. Thank you. And are there special events taking place during the winter? Are they mostly holiday events, or what other types of events can they sell or package around?
Yeah, there's plenty of festivals. All the festivals are available on travelalberta.com. But for example, at the end of January, early February, up in Jasper, there's their beer festival.
Mhm.
In Calgary, they have several festivals throughout that are not just around the holidays, but during January and February that really celebrate the magic of winter. And likewise in Edmonton,
Mhm.
one that is on the border of winter up in Jasper is the Dark Sky Festival. It's not yet snowy, but there's always a chance it's on that border of winter. And that's very big for a lot of visitors who are into astrotourism and sky watching.
Oh, that sounds great. So yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, see, where is Malign Canyon Ice Walk? This is
Oh, yeah.
close to Jasper National Park.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see that one. Um, so you've mentioned a lot of outdoor activities. Does somebody have to be moderately fit to participate in these things?
No, a lot of these outdoor activities range physical level. Of course, snowshoeing, anyone can do. We have electric fat bike tours also, which is super beginner friendly. I've taken people who've never rode a bike in their life on this in the winter, and it was one of their favorite experiences because it's all electric. And it's a great way to, you know, avoid ice and everything and really get a great view of like Banff or Jasper. There are, of course, a lot more strenuous activities, but that's if someone wants to go ice climbing or heli skiing, which I'm not sure if someone's first time in the winter visiting somewhere that will be top of list.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So what are the best winter months? Is it December, January, all of them?
I would recommend December, January. They're all great. I think in terms of the amount of snow, I think December and January are still on the lighter side.
Okay. So, somebody's asking, can you take a train into this area?
So there are trains. I don't know for sure if they still have winter itineraries, but I can send info after.
Okay, great. Oh, here's somebody has a recommendation. From Banff to Jasper or vice versa, we recommend stopping on the way at Peyto Lake. It's
Yes.
gorgeous and the lake is shaped like a wolf.
Yes, there's a lot of gorgeous stops. This is along Icefields Parkway, which is one of the most gorgeous road trips you can take in Alberta, in my opinion, and scenic. And along the way, there's a lot of stops along the way with lakes or waterfalls, which would be frozen in the winter, but everything you see is just gorgeous. And you can just pull to the side and view everything.
Great. Do people tend to fly in if they're driving in? Do you recommend bringing any of their own equipment at all, or is everything pretty much rentable?
You can rent, yes. I would say there's people who do bring their own if they're particular with their equipment, but everything you can rent when you're in Alberta.
And then somebody wants to know, like for the brewery tours, can they accommodate the larger size groups?
Yes.
Okay.
So with brewery tours, you can do private or you can do more immersed with other people, depending on what size.
And the same thing, somebody wants to know with the with dining. Are there private rooms or private tables that a group could kind of take advantage of?
Absolutely. There's like plenty of options that can accommodate larger groups for private dining.
And then somebody also wants to know, okay, you've been talking a lot about the outdoor adventures, but let's say the weather's bad. What is there to do indoors in your area?
Yes, so there's lots indoors. There's lots of great museums, art galleries, shopping. And I think even in terms of the Indigenous experiences, a lot of those can be taken indoors. So you can still get the same educational and interpretive experience that you would outdoors, but indoors.
And actually, someone wants to know, can you go into a little bit more detail about the Indigenous, like what are the tribes and what do they show visitors?
Yeah, so I can definitely send more info after, but one in particular, the Métis people, there's a special place called Métis Crossing, which is about an hour outside Edmonton. They just built this beautiful lodge that opened, I believe, a year and a half, 2 years ago now, which is open year round. They have these gorgeous, I didn't have it in my slideshow because they're actually very new, sky watching domes, which are open in the winter where you can learn about stargazing and astrotourism, but from the perspective of the Métis people. They also on site have a bunch of interpretive and educational programs that really showcase their connection to the lands, medicinal walks. They'll teach archery. They have a buffalo refuge or bison refuge on site, and you get to just learn a lot about their connection with these animals and their connection to nature. And it's a really different experience, I would say, from doing like stargazing, just with a telescope and like a guide that way, because you really get a different appreciation.
And then somebody wants to know, you mentioned something about shopping. Can you describe like what are the types of things they can buy? Like, for example, is Calgary a great place to go? Banff, what are the shopping opportunities?
Yeah, I would say Edmonton has one of the largest malls. So that's definitely a big indoor shopping experience. Downtown Banff has a lot of really cute boutiques with local suppliers and local artists. For one, I know Jason Carter was mentioned as the giveaway for his Indigenous art. So there's a lot of art for sale throughout the province. And I think downtown Banff really showcases that. There's also great galleries in Calgary and Edmonton where you can buy local arts and goods. But I think those are definitely key highlights. But there's a lot of shopping where it's more traditional, goods versus the local goods that you can find in the different boutiques.
Great. So for somebody who's not familiar with the area, can you go in a little bit into the air service?
Yes.
Like the airlines that are available?
Yes. So air service, of course, Air Canada and WestJet have flights into both Calgary and Edmonton. There's a lot of direct flights on United, Delta, into both airports. I would say Calgary definitely has a lot more direct options from the US than Edmonton, but that's not to say you can't start in Edmonton or fly out of Edmonton.
Okay.
And I think something great to note is a very popular route in Alberta. It's called the Sea Loop. So you start in Calgary and you go up to Banff, then you drive the Icefields Parkway to Jasper and then continue on to Edmonton. So you get to experience all four of those popular destinations and fly into one, fly out of the other. And you can do it vice versa too.
And actually, I have a question here regarding skiing. What, even though you didn't go into it necessarily, what is the best, or can you recommend your top ski destinations?
So I would definitely say that Banff Lake Louise area, that through Ski Big Three, they have a pass where you can go to the three mountains in that area, which is Sunshine Village, Lake Louise, and Mount Norquay. So that's definitely something if you have guests that want to really take advantage of multiple mountain options. But then also up in Jasper, there's great skiing too, which again, since that's a little bit more of a drive from Calgary or Edmonton, it's not as frequented. So that's something I would say is a little more of like the locals. So definitely a different experience.
Okay, great. Well, actually, those are all the questions that I received. Is there anything else, Ashley, that you'd like the viewers and listeners to know?
I don't think so. I think, like I said, winter's my favorite time, and it's definitely a gorgeous time to visit Alberta. So I think Alberta is great year round, and it's definitely a different experience in the winter. So even if you've had clients who've gone in the warmer months, it's definitely a magical, different experience in the winter. So it's worth checking out again.
Actually, something just came in. So it's
Okay.
something who missed the beginning due to an internet problem. And did you already speak about the possibilities of winter canyoning and ice caving, possibilities of itinerant snowshoeing with nights in huts? Somebody, obviously, this person is familiar with what you're offering. Polka or with auto support?
Yeah, so there are ice caving and winter canyoning. I mentioned Johnston Canyon and also Malign Canyon, which are both great options. And something special is also doing it after dark. So there are evening ice canyoning options, and this is all with a guide. You get the cleats and the equipment. So those are two great options throughout the province. And then I see itinerary with snowshoeing with nights and huts. Let me get back to you on that. I'm not 100% sure, but I will send a follow-up.
Great. And then there are a couple more that came in as well, which is awesome. You did touch on this. Any theater or musical performances?
Yes, there are in the cities, but that would all be through, if you look on Travel Alberta, you can find an events calendar that would outline which performances and stuff are happening at what time.
Okay, great. So just like any big city, I would say, right? They have
Yes.
the culture that's available.
Absolutely.
Awesome. And so how long exactly is the drive from Calgary to Banff? Like once they land in Calgary, let's say.
Yeah, it's about an hour and a half, hour 45, give or take.
Okay.
So it's very easy if you had clients that just want to go straight to Banff. Once they land in Calgary, they can get to Banff the same day.
And ground transportation from the airport, or?
So there's the option to rent a car, but there are shuttle services too.
Okay. Okay. Great. Does anyone else have a question out there? I'm also receiving a few. Oh, just something else about the Indigenous. I think, if there's anything else you want to say there about the types of experiences that visitors can have with is it available all over the province?
It is. So there's a lot of
encounters.
there's a lot of options. And I think something interesting to note is a lot of like, for example, like snowshoeing tours, you can do it through an Indigenous operator. There is a whole network of Indigenous partners that the tourism board works with, and we do have them listed also on the website. So if that's something even just doing any tour that has the Indigenous component, there are options to do those with the different Indigenous operators.
Right.
Shuttle service Lake Louise from Calgary. I see that too.
Yeah.
Yes, so there are options to book the shuttle service. I know one popular one is called Brewster, but there's a few that go from like the airport to the popular destinations. And then wheelchair accessible. Yes, there is wheelchair accessibility throughout Alberta. There's actually a page on the Travel Alberta tourism site that does break down all of that.
Okay. And actually something came in to me about, because this person says they went to a ranch in like when it was spring or fall.
Mhm.
And is that something like that available in the winter, like a ranch stay?
That's a great question. I'm not sure if all of them are year round, so that's something I would want to confirm before speaking on.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, rodeo. They're mentioning rodeos too. I guess that's the same thing.
Yes, that's very popular in the warmer months, so I wouldn't, let me check on winter with that.
Okay. All right. That's good to know. Anybody else have any questions before we announce the winner? Okay. So once again, this is sorry. It is a print from a local Indigenous artist, Jason Carter, valued at $75. And so the person who won is Charlene Daly. So Charlene, congratulations. You will be contacted by Travel Alberta to get your prize. And actually another mess. Oh, congrats, Charlene. Oh, you're welcome. This has just been so beautiful to see. Some of the things that you're talking about in the photographs are just incredible. So I'm sure everybody here wants to go and also recommend the experience to their clients. So really, thank you so much for joining us and letting us know all about Alberta. It's a lot.
Absolutely.
I've learned myself a lot. My grandmother actually was from Ottawa, but that's a long way away. So this is really a fantastic opportunity for anybody traveling. So,
Absolutely.
and thank you to all the viewers. And somebody says, thank you for this great presentation. Can't wait to visit. Well, I'm right with you, Santina. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, let's have the next presentation in person up in Alberta.
Absolutely. Count me in.
Yes. Thanks,
Okay.
everyone.
Thank you.